How well do you know Pillar Chase 2? Do you know every single upcoming monster off by heart? Or do you use the wiki to pretend you know them? But, you know, who cares about what's going to get added? How about what's not going to get added? That's right, Pillar Chase 2 has its fair share of cut content. So in this video, I'll be covering some of the interesting ones. And, you know, when I say interesting, I really do mean interesting ones, because there is a lot of boring cut content for this game. Like, really, really boring. Like, oh wow, they didn't add the red Sonic skin. Oh no. I mean, it's different to the red Sonic skin in the game. But, you know, don't worry about it. Where should we start? How about with a monster that was never added? Siren Head was initially meant to be put in Pillar Chase 2, which, you know, you may think, well, isn't he a bit too, big? And you'd be correct. He is way too big. As in, his whole thing was that he wasn't able to be used on some maps because of how big he was. Or that's what I remember Blade saying. But, you know, why was Siren Head not added if not this? Well, because his creator, Trevor Henderson, doesn't like his characters or creatures being used. Which, you know, is funny, considering that this is the same guy that made Cartoon Cat. And, you know, I'm sure people really care about his best wishes normally, but, you know, Blade, creator of Pillar Chase, he's a good guy. So, you know, he actually respects this. But, I mean, honestly, I don't think Siren Head would have worked in the game. Even if, what map could you use him on? You could use him on the campsite, and that's it. There's no maps. Character with no maps. Just, yeah, sure, whatever. But yeah, ignoring Siren Head. Did you know Michael Davies was going to be added to Pillar Chase 2? Yeah, the guy from Faith, the Unholy Trilogy. Yeah, him, little crawling guy. You know, when he was first announced, people were like really excited, and he's not gonna get added. Because, well, again, actually it's copyright. Blade got in contact with the creator of Faith, and they just didn't want him in the game, which, honestly, completely fair. I don't really know what would make Michael different from, like, a character like the Mimic. Honestly, I think they would just play the same. But, you know, it's very sad when they scrap monsters from Pillar Chase. And talking about scrapping other monsters, there's the Fallen Wolf, which was gonna be a brute Boris thing, like from Bendy and the Ink Machine. I'm gonna be honest, before making this video, I didn't even know this was supposed to be in the game. Apparently, initially, it was gonna be a skin for MX, for when, Ink Demon was gonna be added. But, well, that didn't happen, and, you know, they decided, well, why don't we make its own killer? Which, well, they didn't really go through with. Which, you know, completely fair, because, like, one, I never heard of this thing until, again, making this video. And I don't think anyone would actually want to play as it. I'm not gonna call it boring, but yeah, it's pretty boring, yeah. Fallen Wolf was gonna be an MX skin. And you know, that brings us onto the lucrative topic of the scrapped skins in the game, because there is a lot of skins that got scrapped. For example, one of the more recent ones. Jeff the Killer was initially going to have a Vincent skin based on the Rebornica FNAF comics. This didn't happen because apparently Rebornica has a lot of drama surrounding around them, which I didn't know about until this, and honestly, this video has too much other drama stuff in it, to the point where I kinda don't want to, get into it. As in, I don't want to research the Rebornica stuff, because I think there's a lot to it. But along with that, you have Nina the Killer, which is also a Jeff skin, which, the Pillar Chase creators were basically just not wanting to add, because apparently, the content of the original story or something just isn't really appropriate. Which, you know, that's completely fair. SONIC.EXE is in the game, but, you know. I mean, talking about SONIC.EXE, the 2017-X skin for him was going to look completely different initially. Well, you know, just like how the original EXE 2017 X Beast skin looked completely different. Which, you know, it got changed, but hey, that's still scrapped, right? That's still scrap content.
Hey, editing me here, which is funny because I'm always editing me. So I found out while making this video that apparently the 2017X skin for Pillowchase-X was initially going to have a completely different version of his final zone, whatever thing. And honestly, this looks really cool, and it's really sad that it got scrapped. I know it got scrapped because all the stuff is Sandy, which I don't know where in the video this is getting inserted. That will be covered, or has been covered. I don't know, this probably might be right after that. But I really hope Blade reconsiders and somehow gets this in the game because it's really cool. Please, it would have been really cool.
You know, what other skins, except from the Gagagadi skin for the Awoni? Well, I say Gagagadi, but it was just going to be a chicken nugget. This was actually one of the winners of the skin contest that happened in the Discord server. But the reason this wasn't added is because it got reworked into a Hawaii skin. So yeah, the original Awoni version just never happened, which is kind of sad, because I think it would be funny to have both an Awoni and, you know, the small little Hawaii. But, you know, Pillowchase 2 has had its fair share of maps removed. The most notable, and honestly the only one that's still permanently meant to be removed right now, is the Valley, which was a map for the Strongholds game mode, which, honestly, Strongholds was awful, and it's kind of good that it's gotten removed. I think the entire game mode got removed. You can still play it in private servers if you really want to, but, you know, other than that, you also have the holding facility, also known as Gilgamesh, which is the worst map in Pillowchase, which, you know, got removed, thank God, got added back for Strongholds, oh no, and is apparently getting reworked and re-added, which is terrible, because I do not like Gilgamesh as a map. It is too big and boring. And then there's the Backrooms map, which I never got to play on, which for now was removed, but it is intended to be re-added. Apparently the map just wasn't great, but, you know, I just kind of never got to experience it, so But there's one more major aspect of Pillowchase that, well, let's just say, has had a lot of problems, such as the music. Pillowchase 2 and its music is an interesting thing, you know. If you didn't know, Pillowchase 2 had music by a composer called Sandy, who got in a lot of drama earlier in the year, I think, because well, you can like see the warning. Listen, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna be honest. They're not a predator, but they were in online spaces that they shouldn't have been in at their age. So, yeah, that all happened, and, well, they kind of just dipped from the internet. But I'm gonna be honest, I think the Pillowchase devs would have removed their music anyway. Or not removed, but removed any future music they made. I think what they said, though, is that they kept any music still in the game. So that means that the 2017X theme that they made, which I'm probably playing right now, was never going to get added. Which is kind of sad, because I think it's alright. But, you know, it's not the only music that got removed. Because, well, the Mr. Virtual skin, the initial song for it was just the instrumental of the FNF song Paranoia, I think? But, this got changed because they wanted to redo it. Which is, you know, it's fine. You know, one of the composers for Pillowchase wanted to redo it, so they did. And people really didn't like it. Because people said, oh, it doesn't fit the character. Me personally, I think it fit the character brilliantly. It just didn't fit Pillowchase 2, or, at that, MX's gameplay very well. It does not fit for an MX chase theme. Obviously now it got, like, reworked again, and I don't know if it's in the game yet, because I've not gone against someone using the Mr. Virtual skin, but honestly, the new version sounds good. Yeah, it still works. Which, you know, that's great. And honestly, that's kind of like all the cut content I can really think of that's interesting. Obviously, there's a lot more cut content in Pillowchase. You know, a lot of content that probably we, the players, don't even know about. But, you know, I think it's fun that we can look at what's not in the game and go, wow. Some of this I'm really glad isn't in the game. I'm talking about the Gilgamesh map again. I just did not like playing on that map.